What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day as always. Today we're going to be going over picking up a gear set for my Jeep Grand Cherokee 1-ton swap. I'm going to go over everything that goes through my mind when I'm selecting a gear ratio to run in one of my Jeeps. So honestly, when we're selecting the gear ratio for the Grand Cherokee build or kind of any Jeep build that you're not swapping the axles for, picking the correct ratio is going to be super important. And that's because Jeeps don't really make much power. Let's be honest, they make like 200 max on a good day. So we're gonna have to pick the right ratio to be able to maximize getting that power to the ground. So these are actually the ring and pinion out of my rear axle in my Jeep Wrangler, which is on 40s, and I'll explain why I have this gear ratio and how this applies to picking the gear ratio for my Grand Cherokee. So unfortunately, my Grand Cherokee just has a Dana 44 front. It's the Curry Rock Jock 44. Even though it has RCVs and all that stuff, it's still a Dana 44, and honestly, probably not ideal to be running 40s on it, even though I am. But that being said, the pinion in the Dana 44, when you go from a 513 to a 538, gets substantially smaller, which means it gets weaker, and that's just not what you want. And it already probably under, I don't even know how to describe it. The axle's probably not set up for it, so you don't really want that on top of having a weaker axle than what you should have for running those tires. So now that you know I have 513s in the Wrangler with 40s, I'll go ahead and go over the reasons that I have those and not 538s, which would be the correct ratio for running 40s on that Jeep. So the pinion gear here, now this is out of a Dana 60, so it doesn't really matter as much, but when you have a Dana 44 in the front, like my Wrangler has, when you go to 538s, the pinion gets significantly smaller and then it'll break easier. So 513s was like that sweet spot for my Wrangler that still gave me the strength that I needed in the pinion, but also gave me a somewhat close gear ratio so that I'd be able to spin those massive 40s going down the road and we're not super sluggish and we can maximize getting the power from the engine to the tires, and it's more driver friendly when you're driving it on the road. So now you're probably thinking, Josh, what does this have to do with the gears in your Grand Cherokee? So my Grand Cherokee is going to be on 40s at a minimum. We're going to be trying for 43s, but 40s minimum, possibly 42s, hopefully 43s. We have to get the axles under there, check clearances, cycle the suspension, and see what kind of room we're working with. But the plan is 43s, but 40s minimum. So since I know spinning 40s on my Wrangler with 513s is not really ideal, but it does work, I'm definitely going to want to move that gear ratio up a little bit. So that way it will spin better, I'll get more power to the ground, it'll just be more efficient. Fortunately for me, I'm going to be running the Sterling rear and the Dana 60 front, so I'll be able to run more than a 513 and still keep a pretty big pinion, and I won't really lose much strength or size in that. So I think we're going to go with 538s in the 1-ton axles. I think that will do best to spin the massive tires, hopefully get the power to the ground, and be as efficient as possible when we're driving it. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably aren't going to be familiar with the internals of axles or building axles or anything like that. So to give you guys kind of a better idea of this, I'm going to go ahead and show you the difference between the 1-ton pinion that I have already sitting out here Now, there might be some of you out there that haven't already seen the internals of an axle or done much work on axles. So to give you guys a better picture of what I'm talking about, I'm going to go ahead and show you the pinion out of the 1-ton axles that we're putting under the Grand Cherokee. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you the pinion out of the Wrangler axles, which is a Dana 60, but it's not really a 1-ton axle. It's a semi-float Curry Dana 60, but it's like right there in the middle between a not 1-ton and 1-ton. But these are a true 1-ton axle, so I'm going to show you guys the size difference there. So this is the Wrangler's rear Dana 60 pinion. This is the Sterling pinion that came out of the axle that we're going to be putting in the Grand Cherokee. Now, sitting them side by side, you guys can easily see the size difference and just how much stronger these 1-ton axles are going to be than even my Wrangler's axles. And if you guys have been following along with the channel, you'll know that we've done some pretty impressive things with the Wrangler, but that'll be nothing compared to what we're going to be taking the Grand Cherokee on. Also, on top of that, if you guys are having trouble picking a gear ratio, I will link this website down below that I've been using for a long time now. And it's actually got a chart with 3 different options on it. It'll tell you what's best for daily driving, what's best for off-roading, what's best for driving strictly on the road. And it'll give you gear ratios down one side and then tire size on the other, and then you just combine them. And that'll tell you what your ideal gear ratio is going to be. It'll also show you the ratios that you're possibly thinking about doing and it'll show you if that's good, bad, why, and why you shouldn't use that setup. So it's a super helpful tool to have if you're picking out new gears for your Jeeps. Even if you guys are just going to like 35s and you want to change up the gear ratio, it'll definitely help a lot, especially if you're not as knowledgeable on the topic. It'll be really, really helpful. So like I said, I'll link that down below. Super easy to read chart, and I've been using it for a long time now. Now, before I do wrap up this video, I did want to go over a couple things with you. If you guys don't already follow the Shorts channel, I've actually changed that into my second channel. So it's Rocky TV Josh, and I'll go ahead and link that down below as well. I'm going to be posting shorter videos that aren't long enough to make it onto this channel, because the length of a video does kind of impact how the video does. So I'm going to go ahead and post all those shorter videos on that channel. They'll probably be like 3 to 5 minutes long, and then I'll keep the 7 to 12 minute videos on this channel. Plus all of my shorts will be on that channel as well. I'll continue that because those videos do really good, and it's cool to grow the audience through posting the shorts. Plus there's some stuff that I just can't make a full length video on because there's not that much to tell you guys about, and it's like a small choice. So it'll be perfect place to post all those kind of videos. So like I said, I'll link that channel down below if you guys want to check it out. If you guys want to subscribe, go ahead and do so. I'll probably be doing some giveaways on that channel and on this channel coming up soon. Now that I've got the busy season over with for my business, the summer is always the busiest for me, so it's super hard to get a lot of these projects done during the summer. That's why in the fall, spring, and winter, you guys get so much more content than right now. I'm just super busy. We're also getting the Wrangler ready to go out to Ocean City for the week. I'm going up this Wednesday, coming back Sunday. So if you guys are going out there, make sure you guys stop by. We're actually going to have a booth this year. We'll have the Wrangler out there, and then we'll have Alston's YJ. Dylan from Jeep Guys Online, I think, will be there Saturday, possibly some of the day Friday. I definitely want to hit the obstacle course. So if any of you guys are there, go ahead and comment down below. If you guys have your Jeeps there, we can meet up, do a video on it, whatever you guys would like. Make sure you guys stop by the booth. And I have one last thing to tell you before we end the video. I've been getting some questions about the 2.5 ton steering for the Grand Cherokee. Just to give you guys a quick little update, I will be installing this when we get back from Jeep Week. Just waiting on the reamer bit. I've got a couple of those coming in to test to see what we're going to include in the package and what we want to offer on our website. But the steering's all here. It's ready to be installed. I just need the time to do it. I'm going to go ahead and install it. We'll make an install video, make it a video testing it so you guys can see its capabilities and why this is the steering kit you're going to want to go with. And then it'll be live on the website for you guys to pick up. The 2.5 ton, which these are all solid 70-75 aluminum, super, super strong, perfect for off-roading. This is honestly the best steering I've ever had for off-roading has been aluminum. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and change it up some, make some of my own, make some for the Grand Cherokee, and get this live on the website. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.